2 hours ago, the global energy market as we know it ceased to exist. Not metaphorically, not as a figure of speech, literally. At 3:47 a.m. local time, a coordinated salvo of Iranian ballistic missiles crossed into Qatari airspace and slammed directly into the heart of Ras Laffan Industrial City, the single most critical liquefied natural gas processing complex on the face of the Earth. The Pearl GTL facility, the North Field LNG export terminals, the storage infrastructure that supplies Europe, Asia, and the entire developed world with the fuel that keeps hospitals running, factories moving, and homes heated, all of it engulfed in fire. And right now, as you are watching this, the White House is in full crisis mode. The Pentagon is scrambling, the State Department is silent, and the entire Western alliance is staring into an abyss that nobody in Washington had the courage or the foresight to prepare for. Trump wanted a controlled strike. He wanted a clean, surgical Israeli operation against South Pars that would kneecap Iran without triggering a wider war. Instead, he got the single most catastrophic energy disruption since the 1973 Arab oil embargo. And this time, there is no strategic reserve large enough, no diplomatic off-ramp clean enough, and no military option fast enough to stop what is already happening. Let us be precise about what just happened, because the details matter more than anything. Ras Laffan is not just an industrial facility, it is the oxygen supply of the global economy. Qatar operates the largest single LNG export operation on Earth from this site. Roughly 77 million tons of liquefied natural gas flow out of Ras Laffan every year, approximately 20% of all LNG consumed globally. Japan depends on it, South Korea depends on it. Germany, France, the United Kingdom, all of them have long-term supply contracts running through this facility. The Pearl GTL plant alone processes 140,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day. It is the largest gas-to-liquids facility ever constructed by human hands. And tonight, it is burning. Iranian Shahab-3 and Qabar-Shaykan ballistic missiles struck the facility in at least 4 separate impact points. Satellite thermal imaging, already circulating in intelligence communities, shows catastrophic structural failure in at least 2 of the primary liquefaction trains. Rebuilding a single liquefaction train takes between 4 and 6 years. Qatar has lost at minimum 2 of them tonight. Here is what Washington thought was going to happen, and here is why they were catastrophically wrong. The Israeli Air Force, equipped with American-supplied F-35 Ayad Adir aircraft and bunker-busting munitions, executed a precision strike against Iran's South Pars gas field approximately 36 hours ago. The strike was framed internally as a crippling blow to Iran's energy revenue, a move designed to accelerate economic pressure on Tehran without triggering a direct ground confrontation. Israeli officials confirmed the operation was coordinated with American intelligence assets. Trump went on Truth Social and claimed the United States had no prior knowledge. Nobody in the intelligence community believes that. The political calculation inside the White House was straightforward. Hit Iran's energy infrastructure, demonstrate resolve, watch Tehran absorb the blow quietly, and declare a strategic victory before the next news cycle. That was the plan. The plan was wrong in every possible dimension. But before we get into exactly how Iran saw this coming and why Washington never had a chance, if you appreciate this kind of breakdown, hit subscribe and like this video right now so you never miss a story like this. Now, what the White House fundamentally failed to model was Iran's decision calculus under the IRGC's new strategic doctrine. Since 2024, Tehran has been operating under what internal documents, later obtained by European intelligence, describe as the symmetric destruction principle. The doctrine is exactly what it sounds like. If a regional energy asset linked to Western interests is struck, Iran will strike an equivalent or superior asset in response. Not a symbolic response, not a missile into the desert, a real, proportional, maximally damaging counterstrike. Qatar, which hosts Al Udeid Air Base with over 10,000 US personnel, was always the designated target under this doctrine. The missiles were pre-targeted, the flight paths were pre-programmed. The moment Israel struck South Pars, the launch order was effectively already written. Tehran waited less than 36 hours, confirmed the South Pars damage through satellite reconnaissance, and launched. They did not hesitate for a single hour. Now let us talk about the economic fallout, because the military dimension is only the beginning. Within 45 minutes of the first confirmed impact reports, global energy markets went vertical. Brent crude surged past $115 per barrel within the first hour of trading. Natural gas futures in Europe exploded upward by 35% in a single session, the largest single-day move in the history of the TTF benchmark. Asian LNG spot prices are now trading at levels not seen since the 2022 energy crisis. Lloyd's of London has suspended all new marine insurance coverage for vessels operating in or near the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. That means the tankers, the LNG carriers, the crude oil supertankers, all of them effectively stranded. Global shipping insurance has not slowed down tonight. It has stopped entirely. The Strait of Hormuz situation deserves its own chapter. Approximately 21 million barrels of crude oil pass through the strait every single day, roughly 21% of total global petroleum consumption. Tonight, unconfirmed but multiply-sourced reports from US Fifth Fleet Intelligence indicate that the IRGC Navy has already begun deploying naval mines in the southern approaches to the strait. 3 separate commercial vessels have reported underwater detonations or near misses in the past 90 minutes. The USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group has gone to full battle stations. But here is the fundamental problem that no carrier strike group can solve. You cannot sweep mines and simultaneously escort commercial traffic and simultaneously maintain air superiority over 2 separate conflict zones. The US Navy is being asked to do all 3 at once, with assets designed for one. The Allied response has been, in a word, disastrous for Washington. The European Union called an emergency session of the Foreign Affairs Council within 2 hours of the Ras Laffan strike. The statement that emerged did not blame Iran first. It called for immediate de-escalation by all parties and demanded a full accounting of the Israeli strike on South Pars, which, under international law, struck a sovereign nation's energy infrastructure without a formal declaration of war or UN authorization. Germany, facing an energy market in free collapse, issued a statement stopping just short of directly condemning the Israeli operation. France went further. French officials told reporters that France cannot support military actions that predictably trigger civilian infrastructure attacks on allied nations. Japan and South Korea, America's 2 most critical Asian allies, have declared national energy emergencies. Combined, they import over 60 million tons of LNG annually, a substantial portion from Qatar. Replacement supply at this scale does not exist on short notice. It takes weeks to reroute LNG tankers and renegotiate cargo contracts. In the meantime, Japanese industrial consumers and South Korean steel mills are staring at an energy cost structure that has been permanently repriced upward in a single night. And here is the trap that Trump has walked directly into, with both eyes open. He has exactly 3 options, and every single one of them is a disaster. Option 1. Retaliate against Iran directly. American military power could inflict enormous damage on Iranian infrastructure. Nobody disputes that. But the morning after, Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz completely. Global oil goes to $200 a barrel. The global economy enters a recession that makes 2008 look like a minor correction. Iran activates every proxy network from Iraq to Lebanon to Yemen. The entire Middle East becomes a single interconnected battlefield with no clear endpoint and no definition of victory. Option 2. Trump negotiates. He quietly reaches out through Qatari and Omani back channels, tries to arrange a ceasefire, pressures Israel to stand down. The domestic political consequences are catastrophic. He has spent months positioning himself as the leader who will not be pushed around by Iran. A negotiated stand-down, brokered under duress, after Iran just destroyed a key American ally's infrastructure, is not a position he survives politically. Option 3. Do nothing and hope it de-escalates on its own. Markets do not de-escalate on hope. The IRGC does not stand down mine-laying operations on hope. Doing nothing simply means watching the damage compound in real time, while the White House issues statements that nobody reads and nobody believes. A senior former NSC official, speaking anonymously to Reuters, approximately 40 minutes ago, put it plainly. We modeled Iranian responses to a South Pars strike. We war-gamed the Hormuz scenario, the proxy activation scenario, the cyber attack scenario. The one scenario that apparently nobody fully stress-tested was Iran striking Qatar directly and immediately. That assumption, that Iran would absorb the South Pars hit and retaliate slowly and incrementally, that assumption just cost us the entire Gulf energy architecture in a single night. That is not an opposition politician speaking. That is a person who sat in the room where these decisions were made, telling you that the fundamental strategic premise of the operation was wrong. Iran was not going to absorb the blow. They had a doctrine, pre-targeted coordinates, missiles on ready alert, and they executed the moment the order came. Washington's arrogance was not in thinking they could hit Iran. Washington's arrogance was in thinking Iran would react the way Washington wanted them to react. On Washington's timeline, within Washington's preferred escalation ladder, Tehran ripped that ladder out of the wall and threw it into the fire. And now the fire is in Ras Laffan. The smoke is visible from space. 20% of the world's LNG supply is offline tonight. Trump wanted a controlled confrontation. He got a global energy crisis, a fractured alliance, a frozen insurance market, a mined strait, and a Qatari government simultaneously expelling Iranian diplomats and demanding answers from Washington. The Middle East did not slip from American grasp tonight. America threw it away with both hands.